Okay, good morning. Welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 20th of February. So, let's run through the news today. We've got no scheduled speakers, although we've already got one speaker out there. We've got bank holidays for, well, it's President's Day, I believe, if I remember rightly. Yep, President's Day in the US, so it's a bank holiday in the US. How much of that affects the markets, we'll see, but I expect it to be a quiet afternoon for sure. And there's nothing out there this morning in economic data coming out. It's tomorrow the bigger data coming out, with all that PMI data coming out. So a quiet day expected today on that front. Okay. Let's look at the markets themselves. We'll start off looking at the euro dollar here, and well, not a great deal here. We've seen a switch round coming from 1 o'clock last week on Friday, but we've run up to its weekly pivot. Now this question now whether it can break this pivot or it's going to roll back away from it. If it rolls back away from it, it just really continues in the pattern. To me it's a bear flag at the moment. A break of that pivot in the 50 MA, the weekly 50, would be more of a bullish sign. Sorry, 4 hourly 50, weekly 50, 4 hourly 50. Okay, looking then up the time frames here, or down the time frames even, down to the 60 minutes, and well, you can see the rally that's going on. One thing I would say is putting a higher low in here. The other thing is there's probably some divergence. If I click on here, yep, you can see the RSI divergence there. Not so much with the MACD, but certainly there with the RSI. So you might get the divergence traders coming into this, which where it is would be all right for us, but we'll see what happens. As I said, a break above that weekly pivot would change my view on this market, and this is a sort of the starting point of changing the view. So I'm not outright let's just go and sell now. Not that I ever am when we're seeing the first touch of a pivot. It's just a waiting game then. Okay, the pound. So I was measuring some retracements last week and left these on the chart there. But anyway, so the pound into its weekly S1 already. It's already caught the daily pivot. It hit the S1. Quite a tight old week last week. Quite pinched week. Maybe we'll get something more coming through this week. Lower highs on the 4 hourlies there. Again though, it's coming up close to its weekly pivot. And the same picture, if that 4 hourly 50 weekly pivot gets broken, well, it could run on through. Slightly softer dollar this morning. I would have expected a stronger dollar with the sort of news, and generally it's seen as a risk-averse currency. But anyway, we're seeing things go against it at the moment. So not a lot there to be done at the moment. It's me looking for the opportunities here, and well, there aren't that many. But looks at things. I was looking at the. I'll take this off in a second, but you see the dollar yen in terms of retracements, really looking to see if it came back towards its 38% or maybe 50 at some stage, but even that has slowed up here. Now this is into its monthly S1 already, and looking here, we've got an untouched weekly pivot. It's looked like it's put fractionally a lower high in there. We can see it a little bit clearer. So like the other markets, it hasn't yet touched its pivot. That might just give it a bit of a target down there, but it really is against its major trend here. It's always say major trend, but significant trend that it's in. The major trend was pretty much down, but that's broken. So overall, that's yeah, it's been running to the upside here, but that's not to say it won't come down there. Of course, it's just it's not aligned. Aussie US dollar. So again, we've got this. Well, in this case, we've got a bit of probably a bit of divergence in the recent lows, getting a rally back up here. It's and again into its weekly pivot. So it's another one, just wait and see what happens post 8 o'clock. Now could be quite a quiet day and they just wander their way through these levels. I don't have great expectations on days like this with US holidays. Not that I expect the whole of Europe to be on holiday, but it does get a bit more sensitive, and we lose some of the volatility and of course liquidity. So US dollar CAD sitting in its wedge still on the daily picture here. It was looking like at one stage it was going to break out of that properly, and it was all turn on Friday, coming back down, not yet near its weekly, but heading that way. And again, it looks pretty reasonable for that. It's put in a lower high, so and it's broken its hourly 50 here. So let's just go back to the 4 hourly. 4 hour 50 is miles away. So yeah, so the S1 could be hit here, which is just under the 34.40. Again, no, 34.40. Well, okay, just below that is its weekly pivot. So now these are pretty good draws, but just watch it until post 8 o'clock. Okay, there's the majors there. The cross pairs, can't see a lot here. Euro yen, when we look at this on an hourly picture, is just chopping sideways. It is hanging around the highs here, coming out. Looking at the 4 hourlies, you see how solid and consolidated it is. So it is sitting around the top there. It's corresponding with the weekly R1 at the moment, and that's the thing that's been holding it back there. Okay, Euro Aussie, again, pairs that are just chopping along on the dailies. I'm just really going to come down to the hourlies here. It is showing a lower high and a bit more, well, positive on the shorter time frames this, but it has been just literally chopping along. Even the 4 hourly actually doesn't look so bad, but the daily, well, it could be stifled out going into the monthly pivot there. I'm just really looking. There doesn't seem to be a great deal of opportunities. The Euro Canadian dollar is carrying on its well, the Euro's just catching the bid a little bit more, and really sort of trying to push up there, but even that's not really clear at the moment. The untouched daily pivot below, it's sitting in the middle, bit soft. I can't see anything right now. I've looked through some of these earlier on, and just there's barely anything out there, which tells me we could be in for a quiet morning, and well, a quiet day overall. Let's just look at if I can get the right chart on. Quick look at the gold. So gold is also pushing back up a little bit here, having sold off quite a bit there last week. It's above its weekly pivot, 50 not so far away. Of course, that could still provide some resistance. The thing is, when you get these sort of sell-offs, then you've got everything in your way to provide different levels of resistance. We saw it with the 34 a couple of times last week, and we got the 15 perhaps at the next stage. Press the button too quickly. Even this current bar here, we could see it reverse over post 8 o'clock. So I just very wary of the complete changes at 8 and the continuation to move on. Okay, oil running into bear flag there, looking particularly soft. So on the bear flaggy sort of area, but just looking here, I mean, it was particularly soft last week. It's just short of its weekly pivot. Again, this would be interesting to would normally be interesting to watch out for this afternoon, but of course it's not business as usual this afternoon with a bank holiday. So on that note, I'm going to leave you and wish you a great day's trading. Take care. Bye for now. Hi, Michael and Ian. Right.